Welcome back to Blackwater Tech. Today I'm going to show you how to change all the batteries as per your Mod 1 training. So to start with, we're going to begin with the solenoid batteries, the two 9 volts, and the Hud battery, which is AA style. So it could be a lithium or a SAFT battery. So we start by using a T20 Torx 20 Allen key or a screwdriver, whatever's easiest for you. I'm just going to loosen all these screws off. I'm going to leave them in position. Now, as you can see, I've got my head here resting in the JJ sensor cover just for a bit of stability. I've seen people make their own ones through 3D printing or bits of industrial sized plumbing pipe. Otherwise you're just going to have to balance it. Okay, so nearly there. So obviously first job is we're going to remove this, what I call the block, the battery block. Okay, and that should lift out. Maybe I've got one or two still catching. Got one still caught there and there. Okay, so I'm just going to lift that out. I'm going to keep all the screws in place and just put down on some tissue there. Okay, so first I'm going to remove the Hud battery. So you can see this turns. There's 2 wires under here, so don't force it this way, and it's a bit harder to go that way. So what I recommend is putting your finger on this side here. Then you can take the battery out, okay, and then you can see the 2 wires going through there. Now to get the solenoid batteries out, you can twist like so. Just hold that, be very careful, like I said, otherwise. You can get your finger in this side, pop the cap, and then the easiest way is to get an O-ring pick or a dental pick and lift out the 9 volt battery. Just for demonstration purposes, I've got some rechargeables here, just while we wait for a shipment to come of the factory approved Varta ones. Now this side is a little bit harder, you can't get your finger in, so I use the dental pick. Just get under there, lift off, and then just fish the battery out like that. Okay, alright, now while we're here we may as well look at the O-ring. I call this the racetrack O-ring. So I'm just going to lift that out. Okay. Move off to the side. Now, what you want to do is, that's the silicone grease in there. This was recently serviced. You might need to clean out the groove there. Okay, with some tissue or a Q-tip. Okay. Another good thing to do is to make sure you keep these helicoils clean. So you might want to use a bit of contact cleaner. Sometimes these can get some rust to start. So it's best to stay on top of it before it accumulates too much. You can see there. Like I said, this one's been done before. And you may get some rust starting on the screws. It's normal, there's not much you can do about it. So you could put them in an ultrasonic cleaner, but these ones are pretty good. Alright, so let's go back to putting the batteries in. So let's assume this is a new one. I'm going to turn around, make sure you line up the male and female connections properly. We'll just drop that in there. Other side, drop that in there. Now be very careful when you click both sides into place. Okay, so that's pushed down nicely. Now we're going to put the SAFT battery back in. So once again, I'm just going to hold this side. I'm going to slide in from there. And then I'm just going to make sure that the spring has got a nice contact on the center of the battery. Okay. So next, I'm going to put the O-ring back in. So I'm just going to clean it off. And as you've probably seen there, it maintains a bit of shape. So I always put it back in the same way it came out. I'm just going to clean off around the edges there. I always put lots of grease on this one, so that's no hairs or fluff on that. Grease it up again. Doesn't matter if you put lots on here, it's just a compression O-ring. And also by having a lot of grease on there, it helps it to stay in place, because with a new one it is an O shape, it can ping out. So I can put a couple of blobs in there just to hold it in place. Now obviously you want to check it before you put the cover, battery cover back on. So remember, we're just going to check the HUD. So one press, the HUD will come on. Okay, should be that way. Okay, so HUD's now working, that's good. To check the solenoid battery, you need to have sensors installed. Turn the handset on, put to low set point, your default 0.7, and the solenoid should start firing. I haven't got any sensors in this one, but I know these batteries are good. Okay, so now I'm going to put the block back on. I'm just going to look at the underside, make sure there's no dirt. As you can see there, that's mostly silicone grease, but I'll wipe it off just to be sure, making sure there's no hairs. Right. Okay. Now when you put this back in, come in at a slight angle and make sure you get the HUD battery in place. I've got my finger on the top now just to hold the O-ring in place, and I'll start from the middle and work outwards. Like you would a car wheel, doing opposite sides. Now when you tighten these screws up, it's very important not to over tighten them, because the helicoil is just a small insert into the dowel ring. So if you over tighten it, the helicoil will reverse up towards the screw and raise up above the flat level of the dowel ring. Now I did this many years ago. I kept tightening and tightening and tightening, and I didn't really know what I was doing, and went on a dive and flooded the battery compartment. Okay, so you see there, the ones that I started with are now loose again. So to get the right, I'm going to go round, keep spinning them till they stop, not doing them too tight just yet. So you don't want to over tighten them. Okay, so How do we know how far to tighten them? Well, I put tension like that, and I use my thumb and forefinger just until it won't go anymore. Like that. That's good. Yeah. Okay, so there you go. That's how to replace your solenoid and HUD battery. Hope you found this video helpful and a good refresher from your Mod 1 course. Have a great day.